The Beast, the Conqueror, the man who has destroyed everyone in his path for over 2 decades, just got absolutely obliterated by a monster nobody saw coming. What you're about to witness is the moment everything changed in WWE, the night a king was born and a legend was humbled in the most brutal way imaginable. This is not clickbait. This is not hype. This is the night Obafimi announced himself as the future of professional wrestling, and he did it by doing what very few men have ever done. He made Brock Lesnar look human. I need you to understand something before we go any further into this absolute carnage that unfolded on Monday Night Raw just days ago. If you love this business, if you live for those moments that make your heart race and your jaw drop to the floor, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because SLAMZONE is the only place where we break down these legendary moments with the passion and intensity they deserve. Smash that like button, turn on those notifications, because what we witnessed on January 21, 2026, is the kind of moment that defines careers, that creates WrestleMania main events, and honestly, that changes the entire landscape of WWE forever. The crowd inside that arena had no idea what was coming. Brock Lesnar's music hit, and you could feel the entire building shake. That familiar bounce in his step, that cocky smirk on his face, Paul Heyman by his side with a microphone in hand, ready to remind the world once again that his client is the most dominant force in sports entertainment history. The Beast incarnate had come to Monday Night Raw to make a statement, to announce his intentions for WrestleMania, to remind everyone that when Brock Lesnar wants something, Brock Lesnar takes it. Heyman's voice echoed through the arena as he began his usual sermon, praising his client, recounting the destruction, the championships, the broken dreams of everyone who ever dared to step into the ring with the Beast. The crowd was eating it up, some cheering, some booing, but everyone was captivated because that's what Brock Lesnar does. He commands attention. He demands respect. And for years, decades even, he's earned both through sheer dominance. But then something happened. Something that sent a chill down the spine of every single person watching. The lights flickered. Not dramatically, not like some supernatural entrance, but just enough to make people notice. Just enough to make Brock Lesnar stop bouncing. Just enough to make Paul Heyman pause mid-sentence. And in that moment of uncertainty, in that split second of confusion, the Titantron lit up with 2 words that would change everything. Obafimi. Now, if you've been following NXT, if you've been paying attention to the developmental brand where future superstars are born, then you know exactly who Obafimi is. This man has been absolutely unstoppable. 6'4", 270 pounds of pure athletic dominance. The NXT North American champion who has run through everyone put in front of him like they were training dummies. But this was different. This wasn't NXT. This was Monday Night Raw. This was the main roster. And standing in that ring was Brock Lesnar, the man who eats main roster superstars for breakfast. The crowd erupted. Some knew who was coming. Some had no idea. But everyone could feel that something massive was about to happen. Obafimi's music hit, and when he walked out onto that stage, you could see it in his eyes. This wasn't a rookie getting his first taste of the big time. This wasn't some wide-eyed kid living out his dream. This was a warrior walking into battle, and he was walking straight toward the most dangerous man in WWE history. Brock Lesnar didn't look worried. Why would he? He's seen it all. He's conquered them all. Goldberg, Undertaker, John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, the list goes on and on. Young lions have tried to make their name off Brock Lesnar before, and they've all ended up broken, battered, and forgotten. Paul Heyman was already smirking, probably thinking this was going to be another easy night, another body for the pile, another reminder that nobody, and I mean nobody, steps to Brock Lesnar without paying the ultimate price. Obafimi stepped into that ring, and the tension was suffocating. The referee was trying to maintain control. Security was positioned around ringside. This wasn't supposed to be a match. This was supposed to be a confrontation, a face-to-face, maybe some words exchanged before they build to something bigger down the road. But you could see it in Obafimi's body language. You could feel it in the air. This man didn't come to talk. He came to fight. Heyman tried to do what Heyman does best. He tried to talk. He stepped between the 2 giants, microphone raised, ready to defuse the situation or maybe even add fuel to the fire in typical Paul Heyman fashion. But Obafimi wasn't having it. He grabbed that microphone, and the arena went silent. Every single person leaned forward in their seats, waiting to hear what this man had to say. Brock Lesnar. You are the past. I am the future. And the future starts at WrestleMania when I take everything you've built and I burn it to the ground. Simple. Direct. Devastating. No fancy words. No long-winded promo. Just a promise. Just a declaration of war. The crowd exploded. Brock Lesnar's smile faded. Paul Heyman's eyes went wide. And then it happened. Before anyone could react, before security could step in, before the referees could restore order, Obafimi dropped the microphone and lunged at Brock Lesnar. Not a push. Not a shove. A full-on tackle that sent both men crashing to the mat in a chaotic brawl that had the entire WWE universe losing their minds. Punches were flying, bodies were crashing into the ropes. The ring was shaking from the impact of these two massive human beings trying to destroy each other. Security rushed the ring, and within seconds there were a dozen men trying to pull these two apart, but they might as well have been trying to separate two bulls in a cage. Obafimi was throwing security guards left and right. Brock Lesnar was tossing people over the top rope like they weighed nothing. This is where it gets insane. This is where you need to understand the magnitude of what happened next. In the chaos, in the madness of bodies everywhere, Obafimi broke free from the pile of security guards holding him back, and with a running start, he hit Brock Lesnar with the most devastating spear I have ever seen in my entire life. The impact sounded like a car crash. Brock's body folded in half as they crashed through the ropes and onto the floor outside the ring. The entire building gasped. Commentators were screaming. Paul Heyman looked like he'd seen a ghost. Before we go any further, I want you to do something for me. I want you to hit that like button right now if you're feeling the energy of this moment. Subscribe to SLAMZONE and join this incredible family of wrestling fans who live for these unforgettable moments. Drop a comment below and tell me what you thought when you first saw this happen. Were you shocked? Were you hyped? Because I guarantee you, this is just the beginning of something absolutely legendary. Brock Lesnar has been in wars. He's been in battles with the toughest competitors on the planet. But something was different in his eyes when he pulled himself up off that arena floor. For the first time in years, maybe decades, Brock Lesnar looked concerned. Not scared, because the beast doesn't know fear, but concerned that maybe, just maybe, he'd finally met someone who could match his intensity, his aggression, his raw power. Security finally managed to separate them, creating a wall of bodies between these two monsters. But Obafimi wasn't done making his statement. As he was being pushed up the ramp, he turned back one more time, locked eyes with Brock Lesnar who was still recovering in the ring, and he made the championship motion around his waist. Not the NXT North American Championship. The Universal gesture. The main event gesture. The WrestleMania gesture. And then he pointed directly at the biggest show of them all, making it crystal clear that he wasn't just challenging Brock Lesnar to a match. He was challenging him for his legacy, his spot, his throne at the top of WWE. The crowd was absolutely unglued. Chants of "This is awesome" and "Holy." Well, you know what they were chanting, echoed through the arena. Social media exploded. Wrestling journalists were scrambling to get statements. WWE's official Twitter account could barely keep up with the reactions pouring in from fans, wrestlers, and even legends of the business who couldn't believe what they just witnessed. But here's what makes this moment so much more than just a brawl, so much more than just a young star trying to make a name. Obafimi has been planning this. If you go back and watch his interviews from NXT, if you listen to what he's been saying over the past few months, he's been dropping hints. He's been talking about conquering not just NXT, but conquering WWE. He's been saying that the era of part-timers coming in and taking spots from full-time warriors needs to end. And who better to make that statement against than the ultimate part-timer, the man who shows up when he wants, takes what he wants, and leaves everyone else to pick up the pieces? This isn't just about WrestleMania. This is about a changing of the guard. This is about a new generation refusing to wait their turn, refusing to bow down to legends, refusing to accept that they have to earn respect the old-fashioned way. Obafimi is taking what he believes is already his, and he's doing it by stepping directly into the fire, by challenging the most dangerous man in WWE history, by putting everything on the line in front of the entire world. Think about the magnitude of a match like this at WrestleMania. Think about what it means for Obafimi's career if he wins. Think about what it means for Brock Lesnar's legacy if he loses. This isn't just another match on the card. This is the kind of match that creates legends, that defines WrestleManias, that people talk about for decades. This is Hogan versus Andre. This is Rock versus Hogan. This is the passing of the torch moment that WWE has been building toward whether they knew it or not. The aftermath of that night on Raw was pure chaos. Backstage reports said that Brock Lesnar was furious, demanding that WWE management make the match official immediately. Paul Heyman was reportedly making phone calls, trying to figure out who this Obafimi really is, what makes him tick, what his weaknesses might be. Because make no mistake, when Brock Lesnar accepts a challenge like this, he's not just showing up to have a match. He's showing up to end careers, to make examples, to remind the entire world why he's called the Beast Incarnate. Obafimi, on the other hand, went back to NXT that week and defended his North American Championship with even more aggression than usual, if that's even possible. He's not backing down. He's not showing any signs of doubt or fear. He's preparing for war, training like his entire life has been building to this one moment, because in many ways, it has. The beauty of this story is that both men have everything to lose and everything to gain. For Brock Lesnar, a loss at WrestleMania to a quote-unquote rookie would be devastating to his legacy. Yes, he's already a Hall of Famer. Yes, he's already one of the greatest of all time. But in wrestling, you're only as good as your last match, and losing to Obafimi would be admitting that his time at the top is over, that the next generation is here, and that the beast can be conquered. For Obafimi, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Win this match at WrestleMania, and he instantly becomes a main event player for the next decade. He becomes the man who slayed the beast. He becomes the future that he's been promising he would be. But lose, and he risks being labeled as just another guy who talked a big game but couldn't back it up when it mattered most. The pressure on both men is astronomical, and that's what makes this so compelling. As we head toward WrestleMania, the questions are endless. Can Obafimi's youth and hunger overcome Brock Lesnar's experience and pure athleticism? Will Paul Heyman find a way to get inside Obafimi's head before the match? What kind of match will this be? Will it be a technical masterpiece or an all-out war? And most importantly, is WWE ready to pull the trigger on Obafimi as the next big thing, or will they protect Brock Lesnar's legacy one more time? What happened on January 21, 2026, was more than just a segment on Monday Night Raw. It was a statement. It was a declaration that the landscape of WWE is changing, that the old guard is being challenged, and that WrestleMania is about to host one of the most significant matches in recent memory. Obafimi shocked the world by not just confronting Brock Lesnar, but by physically dominating him in that brawl, by showing no fear, by proving that he belongs on the biggest stage of them all. Before I let you go, I need you to do something for me one more time. Hit that subscribe button and become part of the SLAMZONE family. We're going to be breaking down every single moment leading up to this epic WrestleMania showdown. Smash that like button if you're as hyped as I am for this match. Drop a comment and let me know who you think is walking out of WrestleMania victorious. Is it going to be the Beast, Brock Lesnar, proving once again why he's the most dominant force in WWE history? Or is it going to be Obafimi, the future, the king, the man who refuses to wait his turn and is ready to take the throne by force? This is where legends are made. This is where careers are defined. This is where the wrestling world stops and pays attention because they know they're about to witness something special. Obafimi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. The future versus the past. Youth versus experience. Hunger versus legacy. Mark your calendars, set your reminders, and get ready because what we're about to witness is going to be absolutely unforgettable. This is SLAMZONE, and we'll see you for the next breakdown. Stay hyped, stay passionate, and never stop believing in the magic of professional wrestling.